Welcome back to Curious Christianity. I'm Adam. Today I want to talk about the curse of the serpent. It's one of the strangest things in the whole Genesis 1 through 3 narrative is this story surrounding this serpent. And it's so unclear about little things here and there. And there's these ideas like, well, is it just a snake that can talk? Is it Satan embodied in a snake? Is it Satan possessing a snake? All those sorts of questions. I'm not going to answer all of those here. I am going to suggest that we have some sort of idea that it is the devil in one way or another. I think IP made a great video, very interesting. It's inspiring philosophy on some of these notions about the word in the ancient Hebrew, what they could mean. Seraph means serpent, and seraphim is kind of plural for seraph. And so there's a lot of interesting implications to which this idea that this is some sort of angelic being, angelic figure. But I want to talk about the curse because I have an idea about it that is very interesting, and I want you to seriously consider what is it that this curse is talking about when it's coming to the snake. So when we go to the curse of the serpent, it says, let me pull it up here. All right, it says, "Cursed are you above all other livestock and all wild animals." Now, I think here it's contrasting the beginning of Genesis 3 with this, when it was talking about the serpent was wiser than above all other animals of the field. And IP makes an interesting argument in saying that it's wiser above all the animals of the field, not necessarily saying that it is an animal of the field. It's a little bit tough to say one way or another, but it's very interesting to note. So this is contrasting that with the wisdom that's mentioned in the serpent beforehand. And it's kind of suggesting like you will crawl on your belly and you'll eat the dust all the days of your life. So it seems like it's kind of saying like, yeah, you were up here, but now I'm going to put you down here. And it's like comparing almost perhaps the level or status of the serpent compared to the animals or livestock. And then it says, you will eat dust all the days of your life. That is a very interesting statement to make. And the reason that it's really interesting is because you just keep going down a little further. And what does God say to Adam? "For you are dust, and from dust you are made, and from dust you will return." So then, is God simply saying to the serpent, "And you will eat man all of the days of your life"? It seems like that's very consistent with the language that God is using here. And most of us have no problem with a non-literal interpretation of Genesis 3:15. "And I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel," or you will bruise his heel. This seems like an obvious messianic verse where the Son of God is to come through woman and set us free. Okay. So then, isn't what it's saying, you will crawl on your belly, you will be on the earth, and you will eat man, you will devour men all of the days of your life until the woman's offspring comes forth and he will crush your authority and liberate man. The other thing that's very interesting about this, right, is it seems right, perhaps, to attribute the first part to man, also because then this is addressing the curse of the serpent both to man and then to woman. But what's furthermore is that woman is the one through whom he defeats man. In other words, the serpent defeats man and takes over because he deceived the woman. And in likewise, God is saying, Therefore, I will liberate man through woman. You got through the door through woman, and I will liberate man through woman just as well. And you might pause for a minute and think, okay, but Jesus is kind of a man, so aren't you redoing it through men? But you have to remember, Jesus comes through a virgin birth. So woman is the one who delivers Jesus, but she is not impregnated by a man. So it is rightfully so that it is through woman that man is delivered. And it is rightfully so that woman is the one who through mankind is delivered from the devouring of Satan. And when we look at other things, Satan is like a roaring lion prowling around seeking whom he may devour. We see this idea of a dragon with his mouth open trying to devour the child. And you have Jesus talking about Satan has been a liar from the beginning and a murderer. All Satan does is lie, kill, and steal. So here you have this idea that perhaps could have been from the very beginning. That, Satan was a devourer of men. And the liberation of man comes through woman. Just as the fall of man came through woman, so the liberation comes through woman. And Jesus comes to set us free from the authority and power of Satan. And ultimately, we can do no else. We can be no more free without Satan being crushed under the power and authority of Jesus Christ. So, tell me what you think. Leave a comment and let me know if you find any additional sources on this subject.